Welcome back to Good Day Colorado. Valentine's Day tomorrow. So we thought, we would focus on couples. Couples trying to concentrate on how to make each other happy in this cooperative relationship of meeting each other's needs. Yeah, right. Well, for many couples, the only way to stay happy is to sleep apart. We're seeing more and more of this here. It's a trend, whether it's due to someone snoring, children, maybe a big fight before bed. Sleeping solo puts a huge strain on your relationship and your sex life. I didn't realize this was as big a problem as we're finding out. Well, joining me this morning to talk about this, and we want to welcome her, some possible solutions, and your phone calls at 566-7600 is Lisa Thomas. She is a marriage and sex therapist. Welcome to Good Day Colorado.
Thank you for having me.
Nice
to
have you
everybody.
Here. Well, we had this big story last week about couples not sleeping together because of snoring.
Absolutely.
But it goes beyond that.
Well, it really does. The National Sleep Foundation put out a survey in 2005 asking how many people really are sleeping alone, how many married couples, and they found that about 30% of married couples or couples in a committed relationship are sleeping separately, keeping separate bedrooms for a number of reasons. Much of a couple that you had mentioned, sometimes snoring, sometimes children, but the real problem and the real issue becomes when couples are sleeping separately because they want to sleep separately. When couples don't have physical intimacy, that can lead to problems within the marriage.
Well, that seems just on the face very strange. I mean, you're married, you're committed to each other, and yet you choose to sleep separately.
Absolutely.
I mean,
marriage itself, what makes marriage different, a marital relationship different than any other relationship, is there's a sexual component, and oftentimes you're sharing a bedroom, you're sharing living quarters.
So when people come into your office and they say, well, is that one of the first questions you ask?
I do ask. I ask about typical days, like tell me a typical day, and I do ask where everybody sleeps, because it's a very telling question that if couples are sleeping separately, I want to know why that's what's going on, why that's happening.
Well, the proverbial doghouse or the sofa after an argument. My wife and I try to live by the don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Yeah.
But at times, it's just tough, and we haven't had one of those in a long time.
It is tough.
For a couple weeks. No, I'm kidding. So what advice do you give on how to, if you're sleeping apart, how to come back together?
How to come back together, and that's really the key question. There's two basic components to a relationship. There needs to be an emotional intimacy component and a physical intimacy component. If couples aren't sleeping together, if they're not in the same bedroom, if there's not any physical intimacy, they need to figure out a way that they can have physical intimacy even if they're not sleeping in the same bedroom. For example, having physical touch outside of the bedroom, or they need to get comfortable enough being able to just say, hey, let's maybe initiate, and then that contributes to maybe going into the bedroom even if they don't stay in the bedroom.
It's okay to verbalize, hey, I need you.
Absolutely.
And to say that.
Yeah, and that's a big component. I think that people aren't very comfortable. Sex is one of the most intimate things that a couple can do, and oftentimes there's zero communication about it, what we're doing. People, aren't asking for what they want. They're afraid to communicate to their spouse what they like.
The unspoken expectation, though.
Absolutely.
It's like, hey, you should jump my bones and.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's take a call or two. Again, 566-7600, 303. John is on the line. John, you're on with Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, John.
Hi.
What's your question?
I got a question. Me and my wife do sleep together, but we got a really big bed, and she makes a point to separate us with pillows, and sometimes I always telling her I have to hug the pillow, to be comfortable in bed. Is there any ideas or?
Absolutely. John, have you tried speaking with your wife and addressing the problem, saying, I'd really like it if you weren't all the way over at the edge of the bed, if we didn't have pillows separating us? Have you tried to speak with her about this problem?
Yes, I have. Many times, and it just doesn't seem to.
Okay.
Here's what you do. When she's at work or away, replace that king-size bed with a queen. She won't know that. And then get the twin size before it's over. I don't mean to make light of this, but here, this is a little twist. Here's the guy that wants hugging and snuggling and intimacy.
Right, and I find this typically in my practice, that men are now asking really for what they want. Men want to have more intimate relationships where they feel emotionally connected to their partners as well. I think it's a myth that women kind of drive the bus on this. So John, I'd say a couple of things. First of all, I'm not sure if you guys have ever tried couples counseling, but certainly maybe having a third party in to address some of these issues might be helpful. Second of all, trying to speak with her about the problem. And third of all, maybe just trying to do something different. Oftentimes couples wait to feel better to do something, and I encourage couples to do something to feel different. So maybe when you get into bed, rip the pillow out, go over to her, initiate some contact, maybe, you know, start increasing the non-sexual touch in the marriage, so hand-holding, kissing, sitting together on the couch. If there's no physical intimacy in the marriage, maybe that's why she's moving away within the bedroom. Maybe she's just, it's not comfortable for her. So
I've heard some women say that he only touches me when he wants to have sex.
Absolutely. That goes from 0 to sex. So we got to have 0 to 10, 0 to 15, 0 to 20. There has to be a non-sexual physical component in the relationship. So just some non-sexual touch that's happening all the time.
Lisa, while you're here, and we've had an email question, it's gotten a lot of response today, and a survey talking about workplace romances. I'll shift gears slightly here. But we have Valentine's Day tomorrow. Good idea, bad idea in general?
You know, in general, it's a bad idea. And really, the reason is workplace romance. I think that that is a boundary issue. If you are spending so much time at work that you have no time to date or no time to put yourself out there socially, if somebody would need to throw themselves on the hood of your car in order for you to see that somebody's, you know, trying to date you, that's a problem. That's a problem. How many hours are you really spending at work?
Yeah. I like Europe. It seems that they work to live. Here, we live to work oftentimes, and so it's not a surprise. 21%, though, sleeping or having a relationship with a boss?
Absolutely.
That's up 14% from even last year.
It seems like a bad idea. What if it goes wrong? You could really jeopardize your career. You could, you know, have things that you wanted taken away.
So you got this thing going at work. How do you break that off?
Very delicately. I mean, I think the real...
Email.
Email. We'll take out all the emotion. Period. We'll just take all the emotion out. No, I think really, you know, bottom line, bad idea to start. Bad idea to start. Keep it professional. Go to work. Do your job. Come out of work and have a social life that you can feel good about.
All right, we're going to wrap up here. One more question. Is Valentine's Day a big scam from Hallmark? What?
Is it a big Hallmark holiday?
What is that? You know, who created that, and is it good? Is it healthy to have a day like that?
I think it can be healthy because
I'm such a cynic. I'm sorry.
Oftentimes, couples aren't doing enough to take care of their marriage. They're not doing enough to take care of their relationship. Valentine's Day, I think, was invented to have a day where everybody focuses on each other. But really, I think every day should be Valentine's Day. Every day that you're married in a committed relationship, you need to have conscious loving. You need to consciously appreciate your partner and do things that contribute to making the relationship good.
All right. Hear that? Good advice. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that.
Thank
you.
We
couldn't get to everybody's questions and emails. In fact, we have a number now. Now we're out of time. But if you still have a question for Lisa, just visit her website. It's onlinecouch.com. OnlineCouch.
OnlineCouch.com.
Do we put the dash in there, on dash line?
No, Online Couch, all one word.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, you. Happy Valentine's Day. Her husband's right over here offset. It's a good-looking guy, too. All right, 8:21. Next on Good Day, Colorado.